Bryce Young, Bryce Young didn't. In my heart of hearts, I was watching that game and I was like, Bryce Young don't think they're gonna get this onside kick. And when they did get that onside kick, he was like, "Oh shit, I wasn't ready."
Yeah. Well, fellas, we tried. Let's go. Oh, we got it. Oh.
Yo, Vintage got the boom back.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Full Metal Analysis. You can grab the fire extinguishers. You can put all the fires out. The panic is over. Shut off all the alarms. The Lions won, beat the snot out of the Chicago Bears this past yesterday, and the panic is over. I know. Every Lions fan in Detroit is gonna be like, "I told y'all from the start that I knew this was gonna happen." Lions did excellent. What did you think of the Lions play yesterday, Marcus?
I thought that it was a great game. It was a much needed game. I thought there were a majority of everything was highlights and good times and positivity. But I wouldn't put those fire extinguishers up just yet.
Coming into the game, man, I was more positive about how this game was gonna go. I still feel like we started off kind of slow. I mean, don't get me wrong, the offense came out and scored immediately, but then the defense kind of let Chicago do whatever they wanted to do at first, but then they got it together, and we made like 3 stops in a row. We got like 3 takeaways in a row, and the offense did nothing with them. They did absolutely nothing. They forgot how to score that fast. And I was like, and it ultimately made it a quick game. I mean, a close game, and then all of a sudden, right before the halftime, it's like I don't know if somebody smacked Goff or what, but they woke up, and from that point, it was no stopping them. It was no holds barred, like you said. From that point on, it was just a highlight reel.
I was watching that game, and Tesla had the catch, and it was Golden Tate, Atlanta Falcons all over again. The Goff got the spike hit. The clock had clearly hit zeros, and it was just a culmination or a representation of how far the Detroit Lions have truly come. Because instead of, I still don't. Maybe you can explain it to me because I was half working, half watching the game. But I heard 10-second runoff, and I just started having like PTSD flashbacks, and I zoned out. And next thing I know, it's 6 seconds on the clock, and Jared Goff is throwing a touchdown pass.
I don't know what happened. What I got from the whole conversation is the referees fucked up. I mean, so what I saw was Tesla make a catch and then slide out of bounds and then slide out of bounds, which should have stopped the clock. But the referees forgot to stop the clock for some reason, and they didn't tell the Lions what was going on. The Lions, everybody on the Lions thought it was, you know what I'm saying, it was going to stop for a second, and they didn't. And Jared Goff spiked the ball. I think it was supposed to be. It was like 1 second on the clock when they went back in. When I looked at it, I don't know. It was in real time, so I don't know. But the Woodward said it was 1 second on the left on the clock, and then all of a sudden it was 6.
Yeah, it wasn't 1 second left on the clock. It was zeros. But Goff was arguing that they were in position and the referee was holding the ball while he let the clock run down. So he was arguing that, which is something that I never see anybody win that argument. And then Tesla, like you said, he made that catch, and if you're just watching the game, he makes that catch, and you're like, okay, he got out of bounds. I'm with you. But then for whatever reason, they felt the need to go to replay. And when they went to replay, I'm gonna be honest, I could have understood why they said that he was still in bounds. His knee came down in bounds, and then he rolled out of bounds eventually, but the defender was all over him. So technically, I felt like he was in bounds, and then but somehow the referees, what I heard was that the referees were trying to figure it out, and while they were trying to figure it out, too much time ran off the clock, so they reverted the clock back to something and then ran off 10 seconds, so they would have reverted it back to 16 seconds, but I don't even think that play started with 16 seconds, so I don't know, man. But it was just a way of the league apologizing to the Lions is the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, usually they would have said "fuck y'all Lions," and the game would have just continued on. But yeah, man, it was whatever it was the refs messing up, dog, and we know how the refs are not trained for NFL games anymore. They just get off the couch and say, "What are you doing?" No, you at the crib barbecuing. Like, what you about to go do? Oh, I'm about to go ref this game right quick. You know what I'm saying? So.
The one thing that stood out to me the most, the combination. It was Jared Goff and St. Brown, and we were looking for. I know I was. You were more. You were more so not as irritated by his play last week, but I was a little irritated with his play last week. And he went out there Sunday and he showed you that if you give him everything he needs, this is why Brad Holmes extended him. Dan Campbell believes in him. The whole team believes in him. He goes out there and he just slings the ball. He gets it right where it needs to be. 9 times out of 10, it's St. Brown where the ball needs to be. St. Brown had a spectacular game. There's another guy why they extended him. He's trying to make his bid for one of the best wide receivers in the league.
My good things were I like the way the play calling changed. It went from the Gibbs show to what I expected to see last week. The ball was spread around. Everybody got a chance to touch the ball. Even Brock Wright got a chance to touch the ball. Goff did what Goff does. I mean, last week he did seem rusty, but like I said, I wasn't so much concerned with him as much as I was the play calling last week. It was a 180 in the play calling. It's good to see that the rookies finally got it together, and the blocking was on point this week. No miscommunications when everybody's blocking the right guy. Goff has all the time he needs. You know what I'm saying? Saint is a madman, dog. Like he was dragging people across the line. Saint had 3 touchdowns. He should have had 4 or 5. He dragged people down to the 1 yard line that one time, and just got stopped short of a touchdown, man. But Saint was crazy that game. So yeah, it was good to see that. I was sad to see. Goff did miss J-Mo one time upfield for. I think that was in that run of when they couldn't do nothing with the ball. But other than that, the defense stepped up. Like I said, they made 3 stops. Brian Branch on the other side of the ball. If St. Brown is the madman on the offensive side of the ball, Brian Branch is the madman on the other side of the ball. Man, that guy was everywhere. He was in the backfield. He was in the backfield. I mean, he was in the back setting. That Brian Branch was all over the field, man. A one-man stop and show. He was hitting people. He was causing fumbles. I mean, he was getting penalties. whatever you wanted Brian Branch to do, he was out there doing. And I would like to see more from the defensive line though. Hutch got a sack, but they didn't start getting pressure on the quarterback until like the second half. Even Davenport got a sack that he got hurt on. But hold on, but wait. It's not a season engine. It's not a season engine injury. He shook it off and ran to the sideline.
That we know of. After the 3 hours ago, Dave Burkett, beat writer for the Detroit Lions, wrote an article saying Detroit Lions seeking second opinions on Marcus Davenport injury.
Oh wow! Well, at least he got a sack this year. Last year he didn't even do that.
I don't know. I think he might have got a sack. Maybe maybe not. But regardless, man, yeah. So yeah, the defense. The best way I could put it is, if you came to me and said, Marcus, I got a test for you, and I spent all summer getting prepared for this test, and then I sit down and you hand me a SAT, and you say, here, take this test, and then I say, whoa, okay. I take this test, I do so bad, I can't even spell my name right. I don't know any of these answers. All of these concepts are foreign to me, and I bomb that test, right? And then, I feel pretty bad about myself. And then you come back and you say, hey, Marcus, I got another test for you. And then you hand me a third grader's quiz.
Wow. Wow.
And then I take that test. I get my name right. I'm nailing these answers. I feel like a freaking genius. Now let me ask you, should I be excited that I was able to pass a third grade test? or did you just kind of expect me? You kind of expect me to pass the third grade test?
Third grader's test is a little strong, man. That's kind of strong.
The Chicago Bears, right? The Chicago Bears. We could do a podcast on the Chicago Bears because that is very interesting to me. The Chicago Bears will be picking in the top 5 in next year's draft.
So you're calling Ben Johnson a failure as a head coach?
I'm telling you that Ben Johnson was overconfident in his ability to coach. And that's not any breaking news. A lot of people in Detroit felt like that, more so than I did. But that game was a revelation that Ben Johnson, and it might not even be Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson might be a great coach, but the Chicago Bears have no hope. I don't know how this season is going to end, but I am invested to see how it does end, because I don't see a future where this season ends where Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams running back next year. Something's got to give.
Ben Johnson is first year there. I think they give him a couple of years before before you start to hear like he's the problem. But Caleb Williams has been there 2 or 3 years.
I feel like this might be year 3. It might be year 2 or 3 though. Yeah, whatever it is, he's been there. He's
been there long enough where it feels like he's becoming a problem.
Yeah,
and I saw a little heated exchange.
He's got enough opportunity, I would say. He's had enough opportunity to show. Yeah,
and I saw a little heated exchange between him and Ben Johnson when things started to go wrong. I think the Kirby Joseph pickoff, or it was either the Kirby Joseph pickoff or when they got stopped twice with 1 yard. It was 3rd and 1. They got stopped twice for a first down and turned over the ball. Matter of fact, I think that was the one. Him and Ben Johnson had a little heated exchange, and from that moment on, I saw something that you don't want to see out of the leader of your team and the captain of your football team. I saw Caleb Williams pouting on the sideline and bitching and complaining to his team, and he didn't look like a leader at all. And right then and there is the point of the game. I was like, oh yeah, we got this game. It's right.
That Ryan Poles, the GM of the Chicago Bears, was all in. This is Caleb's second year, because Ryan Poles was all in, and in the video / article, they talked about how he didn't even give the time of day. He didn't give any consideration to any other quarterbacks besides Caleb Williams. They basically said that when they were in the scouting room going over the other quarterbacks, it was essentially propaganda. They focused in on the negatives of the other quarterback candidates, and everything else was like, oh, Caleb Williams is, there was a quote in there saying that the GM said that this guy can do things that he's only seen Patrick Mahomes do. So it's a weird dynamic. Maybe it's the GM. Maybe the GM gets axed. But I agree. They just signed Ben Johnson, so it wouldn't make any sense to fire him after 1 year. Meanwhile, he chose this though. He chose to go to a quarterback. He chose to go to a team who has a quarterback who paints his fingernails, who had an infamous meme where he's crying to his mom after a loss at USC. Like that type of stuff. I hate to say stuff, but just that type of behavior that might fly in the University of Southern California. But when you come to the NFL and the Chicago Bears, it's you're gonna have to grow up pretty fast, and like you said, you are the leader of this team. But when your performance isn't what it's supposed to be, people are gonna look at everything, and I don't know if Caleb Williams is the guy. That interception to Kirby Joseph, I would have been pissed too. Imagine if Jared Goff ran around for like 5 seconds and then essentially punted the ball downfield to the free safety, who you didn't have a receiver nowhere in the picture, nowhere in the frame was there a receiver. Kirby Joseph just must have been living right, because that ball just fell right into his lap.
No, hey, look, this is how bad it was. So he did all that running around, and when he got done running around, he tried to throw the ball away, but he threw such a weak throw that he didn't throw it out of bounds. He just threw it downfield. He tried to throw it out of bounds, but it still landed inbounds. And Kirby, being the ball hawk that he is, like, oh shit, free ball, and he dived and caught it. So yeah, I can understand that. But as far as Caleb Williams goes, man, I think so. For me personally, I used to hear about all the hype about this kid when he was in college, man, and I never really followed him real closely when he was in college. But every time I saw this kid, I would tune in to see what the hype was about. You know what I mean? I heard about the fingernail paint and all that stuff. I didn't give a damn about it. So, but I would check in because it was like, oh man, he might be the greatest college quarterback of all time. You know what I'm saying? He's just that talented. And every time I tuned into him, I wasn't impressed. I mean, he all right. I mean, nothing ever jumped off the screen to me. Then I heard rumblings about how when he got drafted, he wanted to buy an NFL team, and he was talking all this cocky stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he just comes off to me as a guy who feels like it should be given to him. Like he was already preparing to be a star before he put in the work. Like he was acting like a Hall of Famer, and he hadn't taken one snap in the NFL. And I'm not sure what his work ethic is. I don't follow the Bears camp like that, but it seems like I don't know if he's if he's putting the work in, man, or if he's just out there expecting it to go his way. But
who is the leader out there? Caleb Williams, like you said, he kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. He doesn't really strike me as a leader. Of course, he's a quarterback, so he can talk. You got to talk to be a quarterback, but like, are people going to follow you? Say what you will, say what you will about Jared Goff. There's no question that every player on that offense the whole team. Every player on that team believes in Jared Goff, and they're gonna follow Jared Goff if Jared Goff leads them. And we just gotta get Jared Goff to lead sometimes. But if he is willing to lead, then the team will follow. But I can't say the same about Caleb Williams.
Honestly, man, and this is gonna sound weird because we talk about culture here, and the Bears strike me as a team that have they have a culture, but their culture is like prima donnas. If you ask me who the leader of that team would be, I would say that the closest thing they had to a leader would probably be DJ Moore, or maybe one of the veterans on defense, but I can't even say that. It's probably DJ Moore, but DJ Moore himself is probably not the best guy to lead. I mean, he gets mad and storms off field too. So right. I mean, and then you got Ben Johnson, who's so stubborn. He wants things done only his way instead of from the reports I heard. Once again, I'm not in Bears practice, but from the reports I heard, like, he came in trying to be a hard ass, and the team didn't respond well to his style of coaching, and it just seems like, yeah, you're right, man. I mean, the Bears just don't really have an identity, man, and because, like you said, the Bears will be one of the worst teams. I don't think the Bears will be one of the worst teams. I think that the talent is there, but they're not there mentally, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah, and not being there mentally, I think that is going to be their downfall. Because say what you will, I think the Carolina Panthers are a terrible team, but at the same time, I feel like they're being patient with Bryce Young, and the Panthers are the NFL's version of Rocky, and but this is early Rocky. Because they haven't figured it out yet. But I don't know, the game plan is to go out there and take the other team's best hit and take another hit and take another hit. And just when you ready to count them out, that's when it's Carolina Panthers football time. And Bryce Young didn't. In my heart of hearts, I was watching that game and I was like, Bryce Young don't think they're gonna get this onside kick. And when they did get that onside kick, he was like, "Oh shit, I wasn't ready."
Yeah.
But
well, fellas, we tried. Let's go. Oh, we got it. Oh.
He went out there. He just had like, man, I used everything in that last drive. The referees bailed us out like 3 times. I mean, come on, coach, what you want from me? So, all that being said, though, they play for Bryce Young. Even when it's out down and out, the game is over. Bryce Young's still out there making plays, and they play for him. I can't say the same about Caleb Williams. I told you in the last pod that. Before the game, I told you, man, Ben Johnson he gonna have to figure something out, man, because he just looks angry to be be there in Chicago.
It's so important that you hold a certain demeanor as the quarterback on your team. I'm pretty sure the Colts locker room just gave up on Anthony Richardson when he walked off the field in the middle of a drive, and seeing Caleb Williams pout and complain and basically throw a hissy fit on the side of on the sideline when they first started losing, just didn't instill it wouldn't have instilled confidence in me as a Bears player, man. And I would have been like, we're supposed to follow this guy.
The Bears. I think they gave an extension. They did something. He was already on the team, so it had to be an extension. But I believe they extended the backup quarterback on that team, and it was a big story. And players were so happy for this guy. Like honestly, man, the backup quarterback seems like he commands more respect than Caleb Williams. So that's why I say, at some point, man, I feel like Ben Johnson's gonna make the switch, and that's gonna be a controversial move. And depending on how it goes, that's gonna rock the boat. That's gonna tip the boat over. The boat is gonna be tipped over. To your point of culture, man, that team hasn't had an identity, a culture since Brian Urlacher.
Yeah,
they've tried to move on. They brought in Jay Cutler. They tried to get Caleb Williams to embrace the offense of the new era, but the defense, the Chicago was always built on defense, and their problem is that, off the top of my head, none of their defensive players are homegrown talent. They're all mercenaries. So
yeah, definitely,
it's so hard. Yeah, they do it every year, and it's so hard to build a culture when you're just bringing in guys left and right. I know I harp on Brad Holmes for not bringing in guys, but the Bears are they're polar opposites. Brad Holmes refuses to bring in anybody, and the Chicago Bears, they accept everybody and don't care about the people they draft typically don't work out, or they find their way out of Chicago. So the Bears, they're just a hot mess, man. And the Lions did what you're supposed to do to bad teams. They stepped on them and they kept it moving.
Detroit